I know things are getting tougher when you can't get the top off the bottom of the barrel. Wide open, roar my future now. Looking fucking new. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know nothing. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is that I don't know.
We're live, except I'm not in the frame yet. All right. Okay. Mr. Betts, how are you?
Salute, dude.
Salute. Welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since you've been on. Adjust my audio up just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. There we go. Oh, yes, perfect. Okay.
Check. Good.
Yeah, we're good. No clipping. All right. So, how wild is it that we're good friends and we hadn't seen each other for a really hot minute, and then you're like, "Hey, I'm coming to Australia."
Yeah, you've been running amok and kind of laying the flag over here for a bit.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be happenstance that we came out here.
Yeah.
Or that I came out here. I don't know that it was too much happenstance for you, but you know, we're at Gabe's, and Gabe came out to visit me for a couple of weeks out in San Diego.
Yep.
You know, hailing from Sydney, and I figured I needed to reciprocate. And who the fuck doesn't want to go to Australia?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking amazing spot. What do you think? This is your first time here, right?
It is. Yeah, dude. I mean, I can knock up dozens and dozens of countries, but haven't checked this one off the bucket list. So I had to come out, and so far so good. I mean, I feel like it's literally just a pin drop.
Yeah.
You know, in the grand scheme of everything, it's like saying that you went to Phoenix and you saw the United States.
Right.
And it's not the case. So, you know, plenty to explore and plenty to come back for. But
absolutely,
so far it's been incredible.
Yeah. I've done a pretty good explore. Like, my first experience was on deployment as a Marine here in Queensland, I think. Is Darwin? Is that Northern Territory? Is that
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was in Northern Territory. So yeah, I came here in Northern Territory in 2002 on the Mew, and we trained with the Aussies and had a great range sesh, and then we went and burned down the MGM casino there for a couple days. And
they have a casino.
Yeah, they have an MGM casino in Darwin. It's like the only thing in Darwin. It's on the hill. Like, you can see it from town. It's like,
and of course the Marines burned it down.
Oh yeah. We went in there and like strong pointed it and just got crazy for. I think they gave us like 3 nights there. It was a wild time. We had a good time. It was awesome.
The good thing is, you know, Aussies burn shit down as well.
Oh yeah, they were like, we had 0 liberty incidents. Like, nobody got in trouble.
That's
because
the best you could ask for.
Yeah, because the Aussies do an amazing job of like
partying.
Yeah, they love it. So it's the national pastime. Like drinking alcohol and like running over kangaroos is like the national pastime.
Yeah, I was nervous about that coming out because I'm getting old, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with this shit.
Yeah.
So far so good. I mean, I did have a day of complete pain.
Yeah, you were down hard for a day, but
yeah, well, it's because I tried to celebrate Anzac Day twice.
Yeah.
and I was chirping and talking a big game, and I'm like, you fucking pussies, like, you know, let's do this twice. Why is Anzac Day not twice? And now I found out.
Right.
I learned my lesson.
I mean, for the record though, we showed up in good fashion, and we
left in better fashion.
Yes.
I mean, it could have been so much worse.
It was so much worse.
And I mean, on a Tuesday, I fucking partied like to the point of not being recognizable. But I felt like that was well done.
Yeah.
I don't know if that shows our age or if it. I don't know. I think it shows our age.
Yeah. Neither of us are getting younger, so
no black eyes, and we didn't throw up.
Yeah. No. Correct. Yeah. It was a good.
It's pretty admirable.
Yeah. So, out of all the places you've been, like city-wise, how do you feel about Sydney?
International or domestic?
No, like, just how does Sydney stack up comparatively to like all the cities you've been to?
Top 2, first or second, and it's tied right now. I'm gonna have to ponder this later and kind of digest everything. But actually, no, it's number 1. Number 2 would be Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But out of all the cities I've been to, which is most in Europe, and the Mediterranean, it's definitely number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, dude, I still feel like it's kind of weird. Like, I almost get like FOMO when I'm here because I feel like there's so much more to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's another corner, there's another alley, there's another bar, there's another fucking restaurant, there's, another fucking goddamn pair of RM boots to buy.
Right.
And and
Yeah.
and
But you got a pair, so you're good.
I got a couple pairs, yeah. And I feel like there's more, but you just can't do it in that amount of time,
Mm.
which, is a good thing, right? So now I need to keep on coming back. So I plan on making it an annual pilgrimage to come back for Anzac Day.
I think it's a great idea because I think that's the most fun I've had with my pants on in a long time. So I think
Yeah.
it was great. Like I hadn't got to like, so this is my, those are people that have been following the podcast know that like I'm dating Kate and like, they've followed the odyssey of me coming to Australia and us like getting together and like, this is my fifth or sixth trip to Australia. I think fifth trip. And so, and all like I said, first time was up in Darwin and the other four have been down here in Sydney. And in terms of like how cities go, like it's a fucking beautiful, picturesque. The one thing I like about it is it's super clean.
Very.
Like it's not like San Francisco where you've got, a homeless dude, sitting between cars on the curb shooting heroin into his ball sack. Like you don't see that shit. Like
I can count on one hand how many homeless people I've seen while I've been here.
Yeah, they keep the city like super dialed in, super clean. Everybody's friendly. Like I've witnessed like zero crime happen in the city here.
And when you travel, you have these boxes that you want to check,
Mhm.
right? You're like, okay, scene,
Yep.
view, food, hospitality,
Yeah.
views, and there hasn't been a single box that hasn't been checked.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean,
How's the food been?
Food's incredible.
Yeah.
And to your point earlier, the beef, the steak,
Yep.
and not to mention the seafood. And I am also one of those people, hailing from San Diego, that requires the ocean in order to kind of not get anxious at some point in time, which is why I place Amsterdam second, because I need the ocean in some capacity. And so having that tacked on with the seafood, and then, the beef and fucking wine, I don't have to learn another language.
Correct.
Although it's still a different language in a multitude of ways.
Yeah.
There's definitely a different dialect. There's a reason why my phone fucking asked me what kind of English, and there's only three. There's American, British, and Australian.
Australia.
And I'm like, yeah, it checks out. Makes sense.
It does check out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, not only am I deaf, but there's so many times where I'm like, what the fuck did you just say?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Kate and I have started doing like on Instagram once in a while. We'll pop up on the stories, and it'll be called culture. I'll do like, oh, here's our next edition of Culture with Kate, and I'll like be like, and I'll say the phrase, and then I'll be like, babe, what does that mean? And she'll translate it, and she'll be like, it means this, and we've been doing that for fun. Like,
yeah, there's no Rosetta Stone for it. You just need a fucking local.
Yeah, for sure. The our favorite probably is, at least mine is like, I'm not here to fuck spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I'm basically here for it. Like let's get it on. Like let's roll up our sleeves and fucking get down.
Yeah. Can't be fucked.
Yeah. Can't be fucked means I can't be bothered to do that, or I'm not interested in doing that.
Yeah, and it boils down so much more, right? You can't order a coffee here, right?
Right.
You have to order a long black
or a flat white.
Yeah, and those are not things that I'm used to saying without being persecuted.
Yeah. Felt BLM fucking getting pushed out of shape.
Yeah, so there's quite a few dynamics that you got to navigate, but they're all humorous, and again, it's not like you're the odd man out in the room.
No,
trying to figure out why everyone's laughing, and you're the one dumb fuck in the corner that doesn't understand.
Correct.
So it's still explainable. Yeah,
and very hospitable people, super friendly, love to have a good time, love to have a laugh, super hospitable. Like I don't have very many detracting things. Although here's what I would say. Like if we have a bunch of positives in the positive column, and our host, our amazing host here who's off camera, you're out of frame, bro, so you can get comfortable. You don't have to be like hiding over there on your sofa. So you can get comfortable, get in the mix, and feel free to chime in because like I have an amazing editor. So like you can chime in. He can probably crank the audio up if you've got some pearls of wisdom that you want to jump in with. Unfortunately, I only brought 2 microphone headsets with me, so our host he's off camera, and plus we're going to protect his identity because he's still doing the job. But yeah, in terms of like what I could critique them on is like they suck at margaritas.
Yeah.
You can't find a good. I mean, I take that back. I've found one margarita at the Crown, at a restaurant called Woodcut that was really good. But other than that, like I've been all over to these like little taco shops. That's the other thing too is they can't do Mexican food worth a fuck.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
That's why I was smart, right? So when Gabe comes out, we fucking slay Mexican food on a regular basis. So I was super well aware that this is not going to be something that I'm going to get out here. And typically after my travels, it's the first thing that I go to.
Yeah.
Right? Airport, taco shop, house, weed, and then I go to bed. So preparing myself, I ate Mexican food probably 2 times a day for a week and solid coming out.
Just getting.
Yeah, I knew to stack it up, and fair. I mean, this is a long ways for Mexicans to paddle.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not taking your fucking 10-foot speedboat and cranking it up on the shores of La Jolla like an immigrant. Out here.
No, you're not.
You got a lot of land or a lot of ocean to traverse
to survive. Yeah, it's not happening. So yeah, there's not even chips and salsa at like their salsa. Now they do have Tapatio, which I'm like, cool. I found Tapatio at the market at Kohl's. At Kohl's, and because I love that. I cannot live without Tapatio or Cholula on my eggs. Like I do scrambled eggs, and even if I'm doing like eggs Benny or something like that, I want a splash of like, I want a splash of that. And you should see the looks that I get at breakfast shops when I'm like, yeah, you got some hot sauce? They look at me like I have a dick growing out of my forehead, and like they keep bringing me ketchup, which they call tomato sauce here for the record. And they keep bringing me tomato sauce when I ask for hot sauce. I'm like, can I get some hot sauce? They're like, yeah, and they bring me ketchup. I'm like, no.
That's hot for you and Canadians, but not me.
Not for me, no.
Yeah, and the other, small nuances, which isn't typical for a traveler to really notice, but, it is very much a nanny state.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out how to open my window all the way in order to get a fresh breeze while sleeping at night, and you only get 4 inches.
Yeah, no.
And you're fined if your window opens further than those things because people have fallen out of windows. So you're no longer left up to your own intelligence and devices. That is mitigated and decided for you on behalf of the government.
Right. I can tell you, I have jokes. I have running jokes with Kate about every time we go to the beach. So when you go to the beach here, you haven't been, but like when you go to the beach here, the lifeguards have a set of flags set up on the beach. And they usually like look for that like spot. Like you and I, like we've done ocean our whole entire life. So we know what a rip current looks like, and we know what plunging surf looks like, and we know what relatively like what unsafe ocean conditions look like as they're coming into the shore. And we, as Americans, like we trust other Americans, and it's kind of like, dangerous freedom, play at your own risk. Not here at the beach. They have sets of flags that's probably like 100 meters apart where they've picked the safest part of where the waves are coming in, and they will get on bullhorns and they will be just a reminder, swimmers stay between the flags. and that's what they do. And they will go down. Gabe's laughing his ass off right now because he knows like, okay, good. All right. Okay. So they do that, and they will like literally corral people into this. They want to swim. Meanwhile, the surfers, this is where it doesn't make any sense to me at all. Surfers on surfboards do whatever the fuck you want.
You get a pass.
You get a pass. You go over where you want. You hit all the waves you want. You paddle out fucking a kilometer if you want to.
It's almost like if you're dumb enough to like bring that bitch in, then I'll believe you.
Right.
Until I don't.
Swimmers, they get heavily micromanaged to the point where we were at Bronte the other night, Bronte Beach, which is in between. It's in between Clavelli and it's south of Bondi. And so we were at Bronte, and the lifeguards like were having a huge case of the shits because these little Asian girls who did not speak English and had no clue what the fucking lifeguards were talking about were out there like playing in the surf, and they weren't even like they weren't even far out. They were like maybe shin deep, literally shin deep, and they were just like even with one of the flags. But the lifeguards were like, had the shits because they were leaving for the day. It's like 5 p.m. and they're leaving. So they're like pulling their flags and they're making people get out of the water because they're leaving. because the lifeguards are leaving for the day. They're like, get out of the water.
But at the same time, I mean, they do this every day, and they realize that Ling Ling has no business fucking trying to tread water in a rip current,
Yeah.
and like, you almost can't knock them for that. Then at the end of the day, if some fucking dumb bitch washes up on shore with her face down and her leg eaten off, it's gonna come back on them. It's like, why didn't you cook them out? And it's like, well, you know what? I'm sorry. You know, so the ocean is one thing. I kind of get that, especially because I mean, I personally have been in a situation where I'm a good swimmer and I'm a surfer and a spearfishing and I'm scuba certified, and I'm like trying to get back in. I'm like, nah, I'm not getting back in. And so then I go to the side, but I know that they don't know that. So I almost don't want to knock them for that, but the cameras, the lack of speeding. I mean, even in California, speed limit on the interstate is 65, but no, it's actually 80.
Yeah, Kate and I were talking about this the other day. The tolls are outrageous. Like, how much have you spent this week driving through the tunnel and back to the city every day? Yeah, $100 in tolls. Yeah, $30 a day to drive through a fucking tunnel. The parking tickets here, Kate fucking got a parking ticket because she parked. We went to this taco shop to try it out, because I was like, oh my God, I found a new one. We haven't hit it yet. Let's go there. And so we went with one of our neighbors who's actually from Chula Vista.
Really?
Yeah, shout out to Enrique. He's
Enrique's my neighbor formerly.
Yeah, he's the global director for animation for Netflix.
No shit.
Yeah, he's my neighbor. He's a great dude, but he's originally from Chula Vista.
Badass.
So he was like, oh yeah, he knows everything sucks here. So
Yeah.
he's like, I haven't tried this one yet. Let's go here. So we went to and then it's in Redfern, which is in the ghetto. So we went to Redfern into the taco shop there, and Kate parked underneath this tree, where the tree had overgrown the no stopping sign, because they call it no stopping. It doesn't say no parking. It says no stopping. And you're not allowed to park there. So she didn't see it. I didn't see it. It was dark outside and the tree had overgrown the sign. So we come back out and from dinner, $308 parking ticket. Have you ever had a $300 parking ticket?
No.
The most expensive parking ticket I've ever had, I think it was like $65.
I think I could leave my car in the middle of Petco's baseball stadium and not get a $300 ticket.
Yeah. So there's some downside, but
not my problem because I don't live here.
Yeah.
So, aside from that, there's as a tourist, I've yet to find zero detriment. And also, I fully expected to come out here and just spend a shit ton of money because, Australia is notoriously expensive.
Yeah.
And then I checked the exchange rate.
Exchange rate's gorgeous.
And it was like $1.50 to $1.
Yeah.
And I'll take that all day.
Yeah. The other amazing thing Australia has going for it is I pointed out to you tonight when we were in the market, how amazing are the grocery prices here, especially with the exchange rate. Like, factor the exchange rate into the grocery price. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I can get 3-4 bags of groceries for what it would cost me for one bag of groceries in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, the groceries here, and then the food quality is way better because they have so many regulations about like what can go into food. So like I would say a plus in the nanny column maybe for this is like they don't have the preservatives or the nitrates or the fucking bullshit that we have in our food in the US that the FDA is like, no, this is good for you and it's actually poisonous as fuck. They don't have that shit. So like when I eat here, even if I'm eating what we would consider processed shit in the US, I still feel great. Like I don't have any fucking like weird lethargic, weird fucking side effects or really bad gas afterwards or like feel nauseated or like anything from like eating some of the fucked up shit that the processed stuff that we have in the US, So they do a good job with the food here. Grocery prices are cheap. Like I was telling you, I can get, I can get 2 flats with 5 steaks each. A New York strip steaks for like $23 US. 10 steaks for $23 US. Like we pay $23 a steak for a decent steak.
Yeah. Yep.
At the market. I can get 10 of those motherfuckers for $23 here.
Yeah.
So veterans, if you're sick of the bullshit in the US and you need a break and you want a great exchange rate for your disability and you want to come do some adventuring, like this is a great place to go. Not to mention the talent here is absolutely amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, I have not seen it.
You haven't been to the beach in the summertime.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. I'm a
Can't
smidge
confirm?
spoiled.
Can't confirm. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's off peak season right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I've yet to experience that.
Yeah.
I know I am mildly jaded, just because I do come from San Diego, where
Yes.
there is a plethora of talent.
Yes. Plus, your other half she's not an ugly human being at all.
No,
Yeah.
she's definitely not.
Yeah.
Canadians got a lot going for
Yeah.
them.
I mean, you are. You in fact. I mean, both of us, in fact, are dating smoke shows. So
yeah,
there is that.
in our older age
Yeah.
too. At that, younger women.
Yes.
In our older age.
Yeah.
High five on that.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's a huge accomplishment.
Yep. It is a good accomplishment.
Yeah. No one wants a frumpy cunt.
No, people look at me and they're like, "Bro, you're 47 and you're dating someone 13 years younger than me or younger than you," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I sure am."
Yeah. Fucking sucker.
Yeah. 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 How old's your wife again? Oh, she's older than you. Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, and she weighs more. Your wife can bench press you.
Yeah, she wears bigger jeans than you do. Wow, that's a damn shame.
And she spends all your money.
Yeah, no, not me. I mean, mine's really good at spending money, but I look at her as like an investment. You know, like she's going for a world title. She's a professional athlete, and she's going for a world title. So
she's like a sports car. It's like ride fast, drive hard.
Yep.
Costs a shit ton of money in gas.
Right.
But you really appreciate.
Well,
being
at some
with
point, it's going to be considered a sports car antique if I take good care of it, and it's going to be worth a fuck ton of money.
Exactly.
So like,
that's it appreciates
Yeah.
actually. Unlike a sports car, she appreciates.
Yeah, so I'll like wait for like a WBC women's welterweight world title,
Mm-hmm.
and then like,
And then she jumps into Hollywood and starts
Yeah.
doing stunt doubling and acting, and
Yep.
and you
Yep.
get to shoot guns and
Mhm.
and make shit.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's a solid one.
I'm gonna get a return on investment. I'm not.
Yeah, the ROI is pretty
ROI,
solid.
yeah,
in there.
ROI is gonna be high.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unlike Bitcoin.
I mean, the ROI is awesome just for me every time she gets naked, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot better than fucking looking at our old wrinkly balls.
yes, correct, absolutely correct. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like Australia has a lot of fucking amazing shit going on here.
Yeah, there's zero complaints. Honestly, I don't even know that I'd want to come in peak season. Guys like us don't really like being around a lot of people.
No.
I certainly appreciate the eye candy.
Mhm.
But not a deciding factor in the time of my trip.
Mhm.
And it factors out too that it's literally identical weather to San Diego at the
Yeah.
moment. And although they're getting ready to go into winter and we're getting ready to go into summer, which is good, right? So when you're kind of blown out and tired of one environment, or if you're tired of the winter, then come out here and you're hitting prime summer.
I mean, that's why I was like irritated with Kate, and we like keep joking with each other about it. We keep taking the piss as it is, which means we're messing with each other. We've been joking around about how it was my plan to like get on the endless summer loop. That was my whole plan. I like came out here to do the recce, ended up meeting her. We started dating. Then I'm like, yeah, this is great because like now my girlfriend lives in Australia. I'm gonna start splitting my year, and I'm gonna get on that endless summer loop. I'm gonna do 6 months in Australia during their summertime, and then I'm gonna come back and be right in time for our summertime. Because I grew up in as much snow as you can possibly imagine a human growing up. Like I grew up north of the wall in Winterfell. Game of Thrones reference for those of you that don't know, go check it out. It's a fucking great show. Snow up to my eyeballs since the time I popped out of a vagina. So like I just got to the point where I'm like, I want fucking good weather all the time. Plus I've noticed like with like navigating through my PTS and just like where I'm at as an adult right now, like I get really bad seasonal depression when the fucking weather sucks ass for a really long time. Like you can ask Cato, he's like, bro, you turn into a dick when you're fucking here for too long in the winter time. And I was like, yeah, because I fucking hate being cold. I hate fucking gray, dreary fucking skies. I hate not being able to go outside and fucking, go shooting or go run, go for a hike without putting on 62 fucking layers and snowshoes.
Yeah, it takes you 20 fucking minutes to leave the house.
Yeah.
That's why it was so easy for me to talk Nikki into moving down to San Diego. Yeah. And she's now lived through quite a few winters.
Yeah, she's from Toronto, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she knows about winter.
Yeah. And I've been out there in the winter, and I'm like, fuck, all right, now I actually got to tie my shoes.
Yeah.
And then I'm putting on my layers and the shell. And then when you get somewhere, so that's just to get to the fucking car. Then you get in the car, and then you start sweating your ass off.
Well,
And
you had to
then
warm up the car unless you want to get into a fucking freezer.
right.
So you got to start your car when you start getting ready. So some poor asshole, usually it's me, unless you have remote start, has to run out, knock the snow off the vehicle, scrape the ice off the window.
Off of every window,
yeah,
because then you can't see out of your mirrors.
correct. Fucking fire up the goddamn car to crank the heaters up and let it fucking sit there and run and let it warm up while you're inside putting on 62 layers of shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah,
I'm good.
Snow sports were amazing when I was a kid, but I'm fucking 47 now and I'm sick of that shit. So I'm like, bring on the fucking beaches and the fucking G-bangers.
Yeah. Yeah. All day. I love whale tails.
You can't fucking swing a dead cat in the summertime without hitting a fucking smoking ass girl in a fucking G-string bikini.
God bless them.
This place is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't suck at all. Not at all.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I do like one of my favorite hobbies is shooting guns, and I still teach. So like my hands start to shake a little bit towards the end of my fucking stays here when I come here, because I usually come on the ESTA visa, so I'm here for like 3 months at a time. So I do start to get the fucking withdrawals from not touching my guns and shooting my guns.
You got to look at it from a different perspective, though. I think that there's a silver lining to that, and it's you don't get used to it, which means you can't take it for granted.
Right.
Right. And I consistently, Nikki and I talked about this the other day, is how we have to kind of like take the 300-foot gaze for a sec
Mhm.
and relearn how to reappreciate or how to appreciate where we live and our
Right.
environment, what we do, and circumstances. Because if not, you take it for granted. You know, you stop going to the beach, you take a glance at the ocean,
Mhm.
and meanwhile, other people are breaking their fucking necks looking at palm trees and seagulls.
Right.
And so, you know, if you're consistently saturated in that type of environment of one that you enjoy, it loses its allure. And so when you come to an environment that you thoroughly enjoy,
Mhm.
but you're missing out on a lot of the key things that we also thoroughly enjoy, when you go back to it, you appreciate it that much more. And I you know, it's kind of like deployments.
Yep.
You know, you go on deployment, and I think that's why I think marriages end after the separation from the military,
Mhm.
is because then you're stuck with each other all the time, and you no longer have the kind of honeymoon phase that is redone every time that you
Every
come
time you
back from a
deploy, yeah.
deployment. And, you know, I mean, I was, you know, on guard or doing patrols or in my room, and I'm like making a checklist of every restaurant that I'm going to fucking hit when I get back. You know, so being able to, I guess, miss things isn't a bad thing.
Right. Yes.
And especially for smaller stints, you
Yeah.
know, your 3-month stints, your 6-month stints. And, you know, you're just doing a
Thanks,
deployment
man.
in Australia. So fucking woe is you.
Right. A deployment without guns, which is weird, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
But then you get back and you get to deploy domestically with guns and just have fun.
Yeah.
So that's how I try to look at it. Because like right now you know, I'm itching for certain things.
Right.
But
Well, back to what I was originally saying is I was psyched to like get on this like endless summer loop. And I was like, this is gonna be fucking great. I'm eventually gonna buy a ute here, a truck, and rig it out like my truck back home. And then I'm gonna go overland my fucking ass off, because this is the mecca of overlanding. I mean, we've got amazing off-roading back home too, but like this is one of the birthplaces of overlanding. So at least in the capacity that we've started doing in the last, I'd say 7 years in the US, like
a lot of the companies have been born out of here.
Yeah.
ARB,
Yep.
you know, being one of them.
Yeah.
Max Tracks,
Yep.
you know, things of
For
that
sure.
nature.
Yeah. All that's Australian. Plus the new 2024 Toyota Tacoma, the Trail Boss or the Trail Master or some gay ass fucking name like that. It's got a ton of Australian design influence in it. It's like a tier above the Pro, the Toyota Pro. Like the Toyota Pro is like Baja influenced, and this Trail, I forgot what the fuck it is. We'll just call it a Trail Master. No, that's Chevy. I don't fucking know.
It is Trail something.
It's Trail
I know
something.
what you're talking about.
It's
They got the Overland and the Trail something.
Yeah, so it's heavily influenced by with Australian overland DNA. Like they did a collab with ARB, and ARB did the front bumper, the rear bumper, and the roll bar that's on it.
And the new Overland comes with a snorkel,
Yeah.
which I didn't realize was as mandatory as possible out
you
here.
You have to have one here.
Right, because in the fucking States, a snorkel on your Overland rig it's an accent piece, to be honest, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've overlanded quite a few places in the United States, and I've never had a fucking ford or river,
Yeah.
you know, up to my windows.
No.
And going down the wormhole on YouTube here and watching these guys, I'm like, oh no, you fucking do.
Yeah.
Just because they don't have a lot of maintained roads and highways and areas that you need to cross mandatory.
Outside the coast, they're like, if you're not coastal, like the second you go into the interior, into the bush, you have to have like I told you when I got here, I was like, bro, it was so confusing to me because I would see like Lambo, Maserati, Land Rover, Ferrari, and then just 79 series Land Cruiser, Land Cruiser, Land Cruiser, Land Cruiser, Hilux, 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 and there was as many luxury vehicles, or there was as many overland vehicles as there was luxury vehicles, and I was like,
I think I have a theory. I think that the reason why that is, I think the reason why this country is such a nanny state is it's in the cities, right? It's along the coastal regions where the majority of people live, because it's so easy to fucking kill yourself on the inside and the internal, aspects of the country. And they've seen all that now they're just trying to kind of save their population essentially from stupidity.
yes,
And they're like, nah, you fucking dumb cunts.
yeah,
And so now they're like, okay, so we're going to tell you what to do, because people are getting dumber,
where they are,
the longer this world goes on, and the faster it spins. And so now I think that they're essentially just trying to protect the human population from doing the dumb shit that the original fucking people, had to try to figure out upon being sent here.
Yeah,
as a colony.
Don't go pet the black mamas.
That kind of checks it. Does that check out? I think that kind of makes sense.
That's your theory? It's the trail hunter. Okay, yeah, not the trail. Yeah.
With fucking by running into kangaroos without a bull bar
Right.
and fucking lights on, and it went in the windshield, and then poor little Amy,
got decapitated by a kangaroo.
Right. And so now they're like, okay, now you need to ho check that shit, and regardless of whether now you need to worry about a kangaroo, I just think that they got a little nervous about how easy it is to die in this fucking country.
Which it's very easy once you're in the bush to die, because there's a million things. Like they've got crocodiles, they've got great white sharks, they've got like there's
all the deadliest snakes.
3 species of spiders here that will kill you, and I think like how many species of snake? 5. You have 8 of the top 10 deadliest snakes, top 3 most venomous spiders. So there's shit like you could just be sleeping in your swag, and if you weren't paying attention for a second and you left the door open too long while you were laying out your sleeping bag, and one of those little creepy crawly little motherfuckers gets in there and you fucking go to sleep, that bitch will crawl up on your face, bite you on the fucking cheek, and kill the fuck out of you.
So now the window checks out, right? It's not 4 inches so the kid doesn't fall out. It's so the fucking 5-inch spider can't come inside.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, fucking that's fun.
And what a kind, like, why do you only live within 120 kilometers of like any spot? Like, there's nothing more specific than that.
Yeah,
it's like, what is it, geofenced?
Yep.
It's like, nah, I don't like.
Yeah,
I don't like it up there.
I need to stay really close so I can kill as many of you cunts as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit here. But here's what I like to tell people: the reason there's so many overlanding and vehicles and why it's culture here is like, imagine if you wanted to drive over to Phoenix to visit family, but the highway from San Diego to Phoenix, there's no servos, there's no gas stations. So there's no service stations, there's no gas stations, and it's dirt road, and you might have to ford a river or two to get there.
And it's 110 degrees.
Yeah. And there's no cell phone reception.
Yeah, more that we talk about this, nanny state checks out. I'm like, all right, fair.
Yeah, so like I don't know, it might make sense that like that's why there's so many overland vehicles, because dudes are like, well, just to go drive 2 hours away and visit my cousins, I have to like drive on a dirt road where I don't know the road conditions. They don't grade the road, that nobody takes care of it. So if it rains or if there was a flood in that area and it just turns into mud soup, it would behoove of you to maybe have.
And then the caveat to that is how many immigrants are here, right? How many people are coming from China and Taiwan and the Philippines and Europe and so on and so forth that don't experience fucking anything.
Yeah, no,
right.
Correct.
It is cobblestone roads, and there are gas stations everywhere.
Yeah, if you're not,
and there's always cell service, and there's no extreme temperatures. And no, I mean, we all know you're especially retarded.
Yeah.
We see that in the States with, new drivers or people come from different countries that aren't used to certain environments.
Yeah.
And this environment
you can
does
say
not
Asians.
give a
you can mainly say Asians.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Cato's Chinese. He's gonna fucking love this.
Well, I mean,
He's the biggest critic of Chinese
it
people.
spans across the gamut, right? I mean, it's a multitude of countries and people and individuals that are just not used to this island that will butt fuck your soul.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Is it an island? It's a continent, but it looks like an island when you're zoomed out and you're flying here.
It's a really
but then
big
you
island.
get here and it's a fucking country.
It's a continent.
That's like calling the United States an island if we weren't attached to Canada and fucking South America.
I mean, well, we probably would be if there's just water all the way around us.
Yeah,
considered an island.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
someone's gonna fry us for this in the comments.
No, it's okay. We give 0 fucks. That's one thing I love about this show. We just don't care. If you get offended, then you're not our customer. So Kate I keep threatening her with putting a GoPro in the car, which I'm gonna do at some point. I'm gonna sneak a GoPro in the car because
that's an entire Patreon vlog right there.
Yes. She always is like forward facing, super polite, very nice, very well spoken. You get her in a vehicle and she turns into a sewer fucking mouth. Like the English Essex girl, because that's where Kate, I'm going to like fucking spoiler alert. Kate is not Australian. I mean, she is. She has her Australian citizenship that she just got. But she came from England, from Essex. And she has an absolute sewer mouth. Like everybody's a fucking dumb cunt. She will fucking the cunt machine gun that's attached to her face will just start engaging targets of opportunities at the cyclic rate when we drive out of the fucking parking garage.
Not even a barrel change.
Yeah. And she loves to be driving and she'll be like, oh, this fucking dumb cunt. Oh, I bet you they're fucking Asian. Yep. Fucking look at that motherfucker. You fucking Asian motherfucker. And then she'll flip them off while we drive by. Or honk her horn. Lay on the fucking horn like people love to do here. So it's great. I love you, babe. Anyway, because I'm sure she's going to listen to this and she's going to be like, why did you tell people my dirty secrets? Because that's what I do. So, great country. It's an awesome place. We're having a great time.
Yeah.
Anzac Day. So I hadn't experienced an Anzac Day until this year. I've been here this is my 5th fucking time. I haven't, 6th time, 5th time. Doesn't matter. This is the first Anzac Day. And I got to tell you, like, I'm going to say this as an American, and it fucking hurts my soul a little bit to say this, but it's fucking, I wouldn't say they have us beat on patriotism across the board, but for that one fucking day, holy shit, the most patriotic display I've fucking seen.
I think they take the collective 365 days of American patriotism and put it down into one day.
Yeah, I would say that's an accurate analogy.
It is not spread out like a shotgun blast. No. It is one day.
Yeah.
And you get full levels of patriotism.
Yes.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Aussies that we were with are like, suck it up or enjoy it now because this is all we get.
Yeah, tomorrow it's done.
And I'm like, we don't have anything like that on Veterans Day. No. We don't have anything like that on Memorial Day.
Nope.
You know, you might have a bunch of old badass bastards, you know, in some super small parade for a block, you know, walking down the street in one of the more patriotic towns.
Yep.
You know, and probably one of the more patriotic states. Sure as fuck not in California.
So just to paint the picture for all of our American listeners that are like fucking furious right now that I just said that the Australians are more patriotic than us on this particular day. It's certainly true. Imagine if during Memorial, like if we took Memorial Day and Veterans Day and combined them, and then on that one day there were fucking parades and everybody fucking left their phones in their pockets and got dressed up nice. And I'm talking like in suit jackets and ties and dresses, and went out and partied together, celebrating patriotism, celebrating the military, and celebrating the fallen. And then there was a national gambling game attached to that, where you could fully legally gamble in the streets. So, like, imagine you can go out and like play either blackjack or craps. This particular game is way more fun and interactive than all of that, and it's
way easier. You got to be able to play it when you're drunk.
You do. When you're heavily intoxicated. It's called 2-Up, and it involves 3 coins, and you place them on a piece of wood.
2 coins.
No, there's 3. Are you sure? I thought there was 2 coins and you had to get 2 out of 3.
2 coins.
Okay, I'm fucked
You
up.
got 3 guesses,
Okay,
but you
well,
get 2 coins.
Oh God. Okay. Well,
Right.
yeah. Okay. I couldn't see what was going on in the middle because I was on the outside, but I was just betting and having a great time. I won, and then I fucking lost. It was fucking absolutely one of the best, most fun gambling experience. But yeah, 2 coins, and it's just fucking heads or tails.
Yeah. Yeah. With 2 coins, so you're either voting that it's going to be opposites,
Yeah.
right? Heads and tails.
Yep.
Or you're going to get both heads or both tails.
Yeah.
And that is called what? Yep. Odds. And odds is one coin is heads and one coin is tails. And all you're doing is betting your fucking money that person is going to flip one of those.
Yes. And the person that throws the coins is called the spinner? Yeah. Okay. The spinner tries to throw.
And then
three.
the spinner switches, correct?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the spinner switches. Okay. Yeah.
And the ringer is the one that is
Collecting the money, right?
Yeah, the banker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collecting the money.
And
The ringer and the spinner.
And when this was attempted to be explained to me by 3 drunk Aussies, it was a loop, trying to navigate the dialect, try to navigate the rules, and then thank God I fucking watched it. Thank God for YouTube.
Yeah.
Watch a YouTube video, and it all made sense. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play it, but
Next year.
There's always next year.
I'm going to make sure that you play next year because it was seriously.
I was ready to lose a lot of fucking money.
I fucking went out there, and I'm not a big gambler. I don't.
Either.
I'm not
Me either
gambling.
I don't get sucked into it.
Yeah, I'd rather jerk off until I'm sweating than gamble.
And I was just about to say, I'm like, dude, if I lost out on $500,
yeah,
I'd rather have a pair of fucking RM boots and a belt.
Yeah, correct.
But and something that's gonna last me a lifetime. But
right.
You know what? That's not gambling.
No.
And I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, and I was told that I have to participate, and I'm glad that Kate was like, no, she was like, because I told her, I was like, babe, I'm like, this is cool, it's fun, I'm gonna go out and have a great time, but I'm not into gambling.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I hate it because I'm same camp you are. I'm like, I'd rather take my money and go buy some cool shit with it.
Nice dinner.
Yep.
Fucking
nice dinner, great bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Fucking couple of mags for my
and
pistol.
especially with
ammo.
fucking 2-Up being such a game of fate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, there's no strategy behind it. And even if you try to play the odds, there's no fucking odds to 2 coins spinning up in the air, bouncing on the ground around a bunch of drunk people.
Yep.
And hoping and crossing your fucking fingers that
Yep.
you get what you want.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love it, but it is banned here. It was banned in, I believe, via the YouTube video in '93. I believe it was in like 93, and if not, then it was in like the late 80s.
It's banned. Once again, back to nanny shit. It was banned.
It's because the government can't collect money on it,
yeah,
and it
the
becomes
government
such
can't
a big
make
fad.
Yeah, they can't make money on it. So.
You know what though, dude? We should fucking take that shit back to the States.
Yeah, I think we should start playing 2-Up.
I mean, think of how fucking fun that would be.
Yeah.
It's not hard to master,
Yep.
and you got a house. Like, it's not like blackjack. You don't have to sit there and count.
Nope.
You're not going to find a card counter, and we can take this shit back to the States.
Yeah.
And you're moving to Vegas soon, so it's even better. I don't know if I just dimed you out.
No, we've already. It's already been briefed. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And if you did dime me out, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be
bring
like,
that shit to 2-Up Vegas. Also, Cato can cut it out.
Yeah.
But if we bring 2-Up back to the States,
let's get like a Vegas casino fucking with let's get some 2-Up going in the States.
You got to go to that one right off the interstate before you hit Vegas. Like,
Pirate Pete's or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, that's the place to take it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be a little Vegas Gaming Commission involved in it because the house always wants to win, and I don't know that the house always wins in that game.
No.
I don't know that anyone wins other than what fate decides. I think
there's so many side bets going on that the house can't make any money. That's the thing, because everybody's side betting. Like, there's more than just like, like the game that I played. I'm trying to remember what fucking beach we went. Oh, we're at Coogee. We're at Coogee, and we went down to I don't know, someplace. Some bar, and we went to the dawn service where they had the official Anzac ceremonies, and commemorating on Anzac and what Anzac is, which for you Americans that have no fucking clue what we're talking about, Anzac stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps, and it commemorates a battle in World War I. I think it was the first time New Zealand and Australian troops fought together during World War I in Turkey. Yeah. During the Battle of Gallipoli, correct? Yes. So it celebrates that and then commemorates the troops that were lost in that battle. And one of the other things that we forgot to talk about, there's a morning ceremony, but then there's gunfire coffee or gunfire breakfast. Gunfire breakfast, and gunfire breakfast is coffee and rum, and that's right, and that's it, and a smoke, right? If you smoke, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's your fucking spiked coffee and a ciggy.
And who the fuck
Uh,
doesn't want that?
no,
Right? And
yeah,
harrowing back to these traditions, right? This is my favorite part about Anzac Day is the older I get, and I'm sure I can speak for you in this, the more nostalgic we get,
right, for
right?
sure.
Less aggressive, more nostalgia.
Yep.
And being able to bring that back and to have everybody from those generations harrowing up until now,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I use that word correctly, but coming up until now, drinking the same shit that they
Mm-hmm.
had to drink back then,
Yeah.
for better or worse, but you do it because it's
Mm-hmm.
tradition,
Yep.
right? It's nostalgia. And also, is rum and coffee the best mixture? Fuck no. But does it suck? Are you mad about it? Absolutely not,
Yeah.
right? And you're doing it for the forefathers.
Yeah.
And those that laid the ground before you. The same with the biscuit. It was fucking baking soda and dirt and powder. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm making that up. I'm being facetious,
Yep.
but the ingredients aren't exactly. It's not a fucking delicious biscuit.
Yeah.
And still maintaining and having these traditions, I think, is instrumental in society, in raising a younger generation
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that service members still pay homage back to those that went before them. And that to me was one of the more nostalgic parts of Anzac Day, amongst many other things, is maintaining these traditions. And it's something that I wish that we did in the States and we don't do. And I'm sure if we asked our World War II veterans, what those traditions were, that there are some.
Oh, I
There
guarantee you.
was
Yeah.
there was what shit on a shingle.
Yeah.
That's one of the big ones.
Yep.
And if we were to do that, and that would be something that I would love to take my kid to.
Yeah.
I'm even getting just emotional thinking about it. It's like, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
this is what your great grandfather did. This is what your grandfather did. So on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that we need to nurture and instill in our kids. And it's still something that the Australians do to this day. And it's fucking badass, dude.
Yeah. All the way back from World War One.
Yeah.
So still the traditions from like what was that 1911?
Yeah, I was gonna say 1910, 1913.
Yeah.
Through
Somewhere.
there.
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So well over a century ago.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it.
And dressing dapper as fuck.
Yep.
Paying homage.
Mm-hmm.
It also, a little bit of it kind of reminded me of Dia de los Muertos
Mm-hmm.
that they celebrate in Mexico, Day of the Dead, celebrating the fallen.
Yeah.
And you don't need to get all teary eyed. If anything, you need to raise your class and be proud.
Yeah.
Be proud of where you came from. Be proud of what you're doing as a service member. Be proud of your country and what your country does and has done and stands for to this day.
Yep.
And continues to do. And then that caveats into my next point. One of the biggest ones that, this is fucking embarrassing actually. So we were drunk as fuck up on top of the roof at the pub, celebrating.
How's the view from up there? Did you like the view?
I was staring at the Sydney Opera House,
Yeah.
Overlooking the bay, and it was incredible. And there was these two gay guys, middle aged, asking me about my medals and stuff because I stood out like a dick in the punch bowl as an American.
I mean, you did, yeah.
And so, we're talking to them, and obviously they wanted to get a mildly political, talking about the war, and I was trying to deflect this, inebriated.
Yeah, you're drunk, trying to like navigate.
Yeah. And so they asked me, they're like, what do you think of Anzac Day and things? And I was like, one of the biggest things that I noticed is walking down the street during the parade. First of all, if bagpipes and fucking snare drums and drums in general do not fire you up.
Yeah, don't make your hair stand up on your neck. You need to check your pulse.
You need to fucking get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that unequivocally is just, visceral.
Yeah, it'll get a hold of you.
For lack of a better term. Yeah. But I remember sitting there, Gabe and I are waiting for a friend of ours to link up with us. And I remember seeing nothing but foreigners, Indians, Chinese, Filipinos, people from all walks of life and all different cultures that were reaching out over the barrier on the street and asking their postman for the Australian flag.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they could wave it whenever the troops came by. The Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, so on and so forth. They're not from this country.
Yeah.
And yet they're proud of this country. They're proud to be here. They want to wave the Australian flag. They are thankful for everything that Australia has provided them, whether it be refugee status, civilian status, immigrant status, whatever they were fucking fleeing from, a better life in any capacity. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Why are they? It doesn't matter. They're here, and
Right. And they're not fucking protesting it.
no.
They're not arguing against any of this.
Mhm.
And they're not fucking from here. They've
Right.
assimilated and they're proud and they're thankful for all this. And they're handing it to their kid, their little Chinese baby,
Yeah.
waving it, just proud as shit over this. And that, I think, to me was the biggest like takeaway that I had was, and something that we desperately fucking need in the United
Yeah.
States. I could not be more irate at the current climate in the United States and everything that is going on. So being able to leave the bullshit that is happening in our current fucking universities and to come here across the fucking globe to see tens of thousands of immigrants celebrating their new country or their country that is now that has welcomed them in
Right.
with open arms and employed them and given them a better way of life than they previously had, and to show patriotism and respect towards that
Yeah.
to service members, like, dude, we need fucking more of that.
I agree.
We need a lot more of that.
Yeah.
Because fuck, dude, we're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. We got some. We definitely have some issues.
And Australia might, they got their issues, but not, you don't see it on that day. And that to me, and so going back to the conversation, talking to these gay guys, I ended up getting choked up about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm so frustrated with the current climate in the United States, and the turmoil and the fucking upheaval and all these wars being fought by proxy and all this nonsense and the lack of patriotism in the United States.
Yep.
To see that here by people from all walks of life was fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was really good for me to come over here last year when I came here for the second time. And I remember I had a day where, I was sitting, the fellow that hosted me, I was at his condo and he was gone at work all day. And it was when the Senate hearings for Afghanistan came on, and Tyler Vargas Andrews was testifying.
God, if Tyler Vargas Andrews is listening to this, dude, I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. I love that dude too, and I'm
thanks
like,
for everything, dude.
Yeah, I want to get him on the podcast. He was testifying, and it got me so. I mean, just the whole how everything went down in Afghanistan, and then watching that and hearing his testimony. Because I mean, Griff and I called it. Like Griff and I were calling the ball like a year out that it was going to be a train wreck. It was going to get fucked.
It's easy
The
to see.
The Taliban, like, I mean, anybody that spent more than 15 minutes in that fucking country knew that
we're not establishing democracy.
We're not. It's going to fucking go sideways if we leave. And of course, who are we? Just the guys on the ground doing the fucking job. Nobody listened up the chain of command at the strategic level and at the political level. And it went exactly how Griff and I fucking called it. And I don't know, man. I had to take a knee from that whole thing and just take a time out because it fucking sent me really, really far sideways.
It's the only thing. It was that point that I think I still live in it, right? Like it's put me in a bad headspace because of the overwhelming lack of fucks given for all of that, right? Yeah. Even as a United States citizen, to not give a fuck about that after all the lives wasted, after the taxpayer money being fucking pissed down the drain, after 9/11, like after the lies consistently, and then seeing the levels of desperation by those that we were told to save is unreal.
Yeah.
It is absolutely unreal. And I was never, ever, ever political up until that point.
Yeah. Yeah. I watching how all of that unfolded and then hearing the testimony and knowing like what we put into that country and what the end state was and how our leadership in our country just thinks that that's okay. And they want to pat themselves on the back and did a good job. Oh, we had the largest airlift in history.
Or they point fingers in the other direction, in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Oh, well, this failure is.
Well, that was Trump's fault.
It was
that was Biden's fault.
Yeah, it was Trump's fault.
It was everyone's fault. I mean, we went through 4 different presidencies under the in the course of GWAT.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
What the fuck was it 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Mhm.
and no one gives a fuck. So it's nice and refreshing, right? I don't want to stick on that too hard
Right.
because it just fucking pisses me off. But it's refreshing to come out here and to see that.
Yeah.
And it's also refreshing to come out here, as an American, which, you know, we we kind of did it,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
We instigated some shit, and well, we didn't instigate shit, right? I don't mean that, right? 9/11 fucking happened.
yeah.
And there's a whole wormhole there that could go down, but regardless, there's patriotism that you and I have. There's patriotism our service members on the war that we fought and our allies,
Yeah.
and Australia being one of them. And we don't see that back home.
Yeah. No.
And we literally had to travel across the fucking globe in order to see it.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
we
that
saw
was
it here in folds.
yeah. That was the point that I was moving towards was that watching all of that unfold on the Senate hearing. Like my friend, he came back from work, and he was like, he saw like how distraught I was, and he went to the fridge and he went and got a beer, got a 4 Pines Pacific Ale, fucking great beer, cracked it open, handed it to me, and he was like, mate, drink that down, and then walk over there and go put your ass in the sand and sit on the beach and look at that water. And I was like, okay. So I did. I followed his directions, fucking
That's
pounded
sage
the beer down,
advice.
walked out the door because he lived literally right across the street from the beach, walked over, sat on the sand, and I just sat there and I was like, as sad as it is to say it, I was like, bro, you got to let this shit go. You can't control what happened. The only thing you can control is yourself, and the only thing you can control is like what you did when you were there, and you did a fucking good job, and the people you worked with did a good job. And at the tactical level, everybody accomplished their fucking mission. Everybody did a great job at the tactical level. You know who fucked this up? The cunts at the strategic level.
Right.
The fucking generals fucked this up. The politicians fucked this up. Us dudes at the tactical level did our fucking job immaculately. Okay? Our allies did their job immaculately. The UK, immaculately. Aussies, immaculately. Kiwis, fucking the Italians, the Germans, fucking everybody that participated and allied with us in that conflict did their job great at the tactical level. Our fucking politicians let us down. And I sat there and I was like, well, it's just another fucking example of a broken system that I can't control. And so I sat there and I meditated on it. And then I just found I got a healing out of being in Australia. I got a healing looking at crystal blue water, hot ass chicks in fucking G-string bikinis walking back and forth, a great beer that I just fucking had. I walked down, got a fucking amazing coffee. The sun was shining. It was gorgeous, not a cloud in the sky. And in that moment, I was like, man, this is a fucking rad place. And I was like, I'm letting this shit go. I got to let it go. I mean, I'll still bitch about it. I'll still talk about it. I'll still also advocate, for, or explain to people why we were there or what we were doing or what our missions were or like, my opinion and position on things. I'll have no problem talking about that still. But emotionally in that moment, I had to let Afghanistan go.
And then that's fine, right? And I'm literally currently living this dichotomy right
Yeah.
now of posing this question to myself of that's what I keep on telling myself, right? Is
Yeah.
exactly what you just said. Like, I want to be left alone. I want to live in my bubble. I want to raise a family and be a husband, be a father, be all this. But what would our forefathers do after that? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
I get hung up on the same fucking
you know
thing,
what I
man.
mean? Like, you and I kind of just want to, we want the docile kind of not take a knee, but just turn around and walk away and just, all right, well, I'm going to worry about this, my inner circle. But that's not what our country is founded on.
You're correct. That's not what our DNA is about.
And also, I'm not a Jan 6 guy.
No.
But if we keep on just shrugging it and traveling to foreign countries in order to fucking get away from this emotional state and the turmoil and the fucking anger that it brings up, it's like, is that the right thing to do too?
Yeah.
But what is the right thing to do? And we're done with violence. We don't want violence anymore. But I mean, apparently everyone fucking else does. Everyone except for the violent people that were trained on violence we don't want violence, but everyone else does.
Yeah.
Everyone else knows. You look at every fucking college campus right now, they want violence. They're burning shit down. They're breaking it. They're destroying it. They're occupying it. They're fucking fighting for something that they don't have a single clue about. I'm like, I don't know where to stand in this. Like, this is literally like I stay up at night right now over this. Like, until I'm so tired I can't fucking watch fucking YouTube anymore.
Yeah, no,
And I'm not watching nasty YouTube shit. I'm like, all right, let me just find the guy fucking spearfishing.
you're
Right?
correct.
I need to.
You have to distract your brain from it, but it's
Yeah,
still going. It's still the operating system still has those tabs
right.
open in the background.
Because
Yeah,
like I'm preparing to be a father next year,
yeah,
and all of this is going on, and it's like, dude, I like for the first time in my life, I almost think I need a fucking therapist, but there is not a therapist in the world out there that can handle me.
no,
And nor us posing these questions, which is why I think me doing this cast with you, I was so eager about it again, just and because it's cathartic at this point,
yeah,
because we're all cut from the same cloth,
yeah.
and right now we're going through a fucking crisis in our country, and uh, you know I don't know what to do, and what can we do, and without violence there's nothing we can do.
It reminds
And I
me.
don't want to get violent again because I'm trying to fucking be a father and I live a great life and I have fucking amazing friends and I got a great career and I don't really feel like going to prison. And if I get violent, I'm fucking going to prison if I get caught. And I don't want any of that. And
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm hoping it irons itself out,
right,
you know?
but it's not going to. That's the ugly reality of it. And realistically, like, I feel you, bro. Like, I feel like all the veterans, at least, especially the ground combat arms and special operations veterans, are we're like we're like Rambo in First Blood, where he's been he's like been pushed into this situation where he has to fucking like get
So that's the
gnarly.
problem right now is the movie Rambo is being released at the same time as the movie Idiocracy again.
Oh my god.
And it's like literally the two most competing movies are being launched at the same time in theaters, and that's what we're living in. You and I are living in this life that this country, not even life, but this country that does not make sense.
Yeah, I think that scene where he's like ambushed him in the woods, like first contact, and like ambushed him with some booby traps and fucked up some of the dudes. And then he fucking like jumps out of the bush and he's like all camoed up and he's got his blade and he fucking grabs Brian Dennehy and shoves him against the tree and puts the blade up against his throat and he's like, let it go. Let it fucking go, or I'll give you a war that you will not fucking believe. And I kind of feel like that's where the veteran community is with our government right now.
Yeah,
Like,
I would agree.
if you don't fucking change course and stop with the special interest shit, like, we don't even know if we have a compromised election system or not. Like, this next election is
Oh,
going to
we do.
totally tell the tale on whether we have a fucking compromised election system. And if we have a compromised election system and we cannot trust our democratic process, then I default back to the founders of our country that are like, one of my favorite quotes from Thomas Jefferson: the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. If you look at what our fucking oath of the
Foreign and
Constitution,
domestic.
I pledge to defend the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution, not the fucking U.S. government. The Constitution, that document, I pledge to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And realistically, like, I'm going to go on record and just say, like, you dudes like us are already on watch lists.
Oh, hands down.
We are already on watch lists. So you know
Hands
what?
fucking
I'm going to
down.
go out and say, like, publicly, I abhor violence. I do not want any more type of violence.
I'm over
I'm
it.
like you. I'm like Rambo. I'm like, just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, and you and I too, and obviously your listeners and viewers know, you and I have chased so many different levels of therapy in order to become the individuals that we are
Yeah.
today, because we are trying to leave that violent life that we lived for so long.
Yeah.
And we're doing everything in our fucking power.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that it doesn't fucking sting to watch the current state of events after everything that we did, because it's all for naught. And I'm at a crossroads, dude. I mean,
Well, I'm just going to go on record and say, like, this is going to be highly controversial. I may get phone calls from this. So I'm going to caveat my next statement by saying I have no plans, nor am I advocating for any type of violence or any type of overthrow of the U.S. government.
I second that.
Okay. I'm not making plans and I have no fucking designs on overthrowing the US government or starting a revolution. However, I will say, comma, if the rule of law is no longer just, it's time to start killing motherfuckers. It's time to start killing motherfuckers. If we cannot use due process and trust the efficacy of law because it's compromised by political ideology, we are fucking bound by the Constitution to go kill those motherfuckers.
That's entirely fair. And I couldn't agree more.
So that leaves, once again, we're back to the veteran community that's sitting there and we're like, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. You guys need to fucking fix this shit. And I mean, it's something that was fucking super demoralizing to me that just makes me super angry and really staunch in my position to be like, it's time to start killing motherfuckers, is when I listened to Eli Crane, who is a Navy SEAL, decorated Navy SEAL, a successful entrepreneur who's a congressional delegate who was elected in Arizona, go to Washington, D.C. on his first term and come back on the Sean Ryan show and say, the system's fucked. He's like, I went there with the best intentions. All I wanted to do was serve again. All I wanted to do was fix the system, be part of the solution, not part of the problem. All I wanted to do was start fixing things in Washington, D.C. And he was like, it's fucked. It's beyond fucking repair because it's so corrupt and there's so much crazy shit happening there with regard to what politicians are doing in DC and what is happening and how they conduct themselves. And he's like, it's fucked. He goes, I don't see a way out. I don't see a way of fixing it. So if a man who is a decorated combat veteran and a special operator steps up, goes through the election process, gets elected, goes to Washington, is halfway through or more than halfway through his first term, and is absolutely abhorred and overwhelmed by what he's experienced there in terms of like how corrupt and disgusting it is. And we've already seen like what has happened with, how far things have degraded with,
The border crisis.
the FBI becoming weaponized. I mean, there's a time where I was like, I would have said, if you would have fucking said any of this shit to me 10 years ago, I'd have been like, I was such a patriotic person and so blindly loyal to, not only my country, the Constitution, but also the government apparatus, because I was a servant of the government apparatus. And to think that, like, if anybody would have came and told me the shit that's going on now, hey, the U.S. president, in the future, a serving U.S. president is going to leave the southern border wide open, and he's going to invite the whole world to come fucking swarm across our border.
Not to mention, he's going to recognize the Taliban as the government.
Yeah, he's going
the same organization that we fought.
Yeah, he's going to
20 plus years.
Yeah, he's going to take billions of your taxpayer dollars to pay them fucking.
Not to mention, give them.
He's giving him money
and leave all assets to him.
Yeah,
I would have called bullshit.
Yeah,
I would have called bullshit.
Yeah, I would have said you're out of your fucking mind. But yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
So, yeah, it leaves us in a fucking super difficult situation because I don't see things the way they're going right now, right? And like realistically, we're coming up on the most contentious and dangerous election. I would wager to say most dangerous election of my lifetime. Now, prior to me being alive, were there other situations maybe as volatile? Possibly.
I don't think so, because I don't think that the world was as capable, lethal, and intelligent and deceptive as it is now.
Well, that's a good point.
We live in a generation that fucking is entirely too capable of bad things.
Right.
And that didn't happen back in the day. You had fucking Paul Revere fucking running around on a horse, fucking knocking on doors and screaming.
Yeah, correct.
Now all you need to do is throw out a message on X.
Yeah.
I think this is the most contentious and important and terrifying election in U.S. history.
Yeah.
And I fear for our democracy. I'm fortunate that I live in a community of patriots, even living in California. And it's like I said, dude, like I'm getting ready to have a kid next year.
Yeah.
And fuck, dude, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, both of us are like we're creative arts people now. Like,
yeah, I'm an art major.
you and I were like nerding out about camera settings while we're fucking putting this up, and we were talking about like our favorite YouTubers on YouTube.
Doing ayahuasca
Yeah.
together. And
Yep, doing ayahuasca together. Like, I all I want to do is like make cool content to put on YouTube and hang out with my fucking rad girlfriend. And
I just want to go back to the 90s.
Yeah, I just want to. I want to enjoy. I'm in a chapter where I want to enjoy my life. So I don't want to be 60 years old and fighting a fucking civil war.
I feel like I'm turning into Clint Eastwood in Grand Torino.
I fucking completely agree.
Like, I really do.
Yeah.
And I never saw that coming.
Mhm.
I thought I was a very forward thinker.
Yeah.
You know, world traveled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fought a war, but now I cry watching Disney movies. And right now I'm certainly not afraid, but I'm worried.
Right.
And I just don't want it to happen.
Yeah. No. And here's the shitty
And there's
thing.
no rectification.
No, here's the shitty thing is for guys like us that know that like if the line gets crossed, we have to go that way. Like it's gonna really fucking suck. It's gonna
I
really
know it's gonna work out in our favor. You
Right.
know what I mean?
It's gonna really suck, but because we are going to be branded as
We
fucking
already are.
traitors and fucking insurgents and enemies of the state and domestic terrorists, like we're going to be branded as bad guys for doing the right fucking thing.
Yeah.
Which is preserving our way of life,
Liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
preserving life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, preserving the document of the Constitution, which ran our company or our country, not our company. Our country has ran it beautifully.
Well, it is a company, actually.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes, it is a company.
Touché.
Right, but it has ran our country well for a really long time, and it's going to be a really bad day for like. I mean, Joe Rogan has an amazing quote that he talks about, like like beware of the dudes that will do everything. Yeah, the dudes that will do everything in their power to like not go back into violence. But if you kill our way of life,
these are the motherfuckers that are break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah.
And once you break that glass, there is no going back.
There's no putting the genie back in the bottle.
No, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
I'm going to just, tell it how it is. For guys like us, that if we get put in a position where we feel like we have to defend the Constitution, we have to step up, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. And if our options are spend the rest of our life in prison when we just wanted to live a happy existence, but you fucking politically forced us to fucking have to go this direction, there's going to be unconscionable and uncomprehendable fucking amounts of violence. Like, if I know, like,
do you think that our government recognizes that, right?
No.
I mean, they have to.
No.
Out of the millions and billions of dollars spent training millions of U.S. personnel in highly violent capabilities.
Yeah.
Don't you think that that's something that they would think about? I mean, the United States owns more guns than the entire world combined. Like, that would kind of be something at the forefront of my mind as a politician if I am continuously making laws and decisions that are deteriorating the sanctity of our government and in our country and what it stands for. And obviously, I don't think that it's going that way because it started off with what Rogan said back with the old Russian Spetsnaz guy talking about how to deteriorate the United States, and it's a slow game. And that was in the fucking 80s.
Yeah.
Right? So
he's like, it's been wildly successful. He's like, we've been more successful past our wildest dreams.
Yeah. Yeah. So can we talk about something nicer?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I mean, I think, where we were angling this towards is we were admiring like how good we feel here in Australia and how patriotic it was and how nice it was and how we're basically lamenting the fact that like that's gone in the US. And to a certain extent, that's gone.
Me on the roof overlooking the Sydney Opera House, hanging out with a foreign ally on their day of celebration for veterans, talking to two gay guys, getting emotional about this current state of events.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we just chill?
Yeah, right.
Can we just fucking chill, bro? All I've been trying to do for the past 11 years since I got out of the military is fucking chill.
Yeah, that's all I've been trying to do too, is just chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think we're going to get pushed into a corner where it's not going to like, and here's the thing is like a lack of action, because here's what I've seen is like and this is probably going to create controversy, and I don't give a fuck. But I have tried to always be the middle ground. I've always tried to be like, I'm not super far left.
For sure.
Everybody's if you got any questions about how I feel about Trump, go back and listen to my like podcast over the last 2 years, and I talked about it at nauseum with Andy when I was on Cleared Hot. Is neither one of us cared for Trump. Do we hate him? No, we didn't hate him, but like we didn't care for him.
Did we ever like any of our presidents?
No, not really. Which is what I'm alluding to is like, I think there's a huge chunk of Americans that are fucking in the middle, and we constantly watch the pendulum swing back and forth and back and forth, and there's never any fucking balanced middle ground. Like I don't know when we've had I don't know that there's ever been an independent or a libertarian. I know for a fact there's been no libertarians, but there's never been an independent or a middle ground person, to my knowledge, that's ever been in the White House,
Right.
leading the White House. It's always been a Republican or it's been a Democrat. And
show me another successful two-party system in this world.
Right.
It's not there.
No. And I've always said, like, I like to classify myself as fiscally conservative and socially liberal.
Yeah.
But lately, over the last like 5 to 7 years, I've watched the Democratic Party get so fucking lunatic with their things that they're doing that that far progressive, it just looks like the left side of the house just keeps getting further and further away, and they're getting so fucking cuckoo clock that it's pushing me right. It's pushing me more right.
Yeah.
And so I used to feel like I was a well-balanced dude who sat in the middle, and I was like, yes, I believe in fiscal conservancy. I believe in small government. I believe in low taxes, but I also believe gay people can get married. I believe in abortion if women want to do that, because no one should be able to tell you what the fuck to do with your body.
I believe people can be trans, but
yeah,
also fucking you have to use a different restroom.
Yeah.
Right? Because kids are in there.
Mm-hmm.
And kids can be trans too. And it's like, they can when they're older, but they can't when they're kids.
Yeah, they can't.
If a kid can't get a fucking tattoo, if you can't use flavored nicotine or tobacco in the state of California until you're 21, why the fuck can you have a sex change at the age of fucking 13?
Correct.
You can't. You can't drive until you're 16.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shocked that fucking some 14-year-old hasn't come out all pissed off and be like, well, every tranny has the right to drive at 14. This is just moronic.
Yeah.
It's fucking moronic.
Yeah. So the level of psychosis that is just completely, men can chest feed and men can have babies, and just like a bold-faced denial of like scientific things, where just like double speak and absolute ludicrous fucking shit just becomes the standard. I can't support that anymore. I can't even look at it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I think if anything, the Democratic Party is just like getting further and further away from anything I want to have anything to do with. And, realistically, what sucks about them is like their moral values and their moral compass is fucked. And if they're getting kids to fucking, cut their dicks off at fucking 13 years old, they have no problem fucking with any other types of fucking, low moral, any type of other, morally inequivalent behavior. Like, and that's the problem that we face is like, most of the people that are on the right are, Christians, and they want to do the right thing, and they want to do it for the right reason. And they believe in like, they're closed-minded about a lot of things, but for the most part, their moral compass is pretty straight, to the point where they also will follow the law no matter what. So when the cuckoo clocks that are running amok are running the fucking show and making all the laws and doing all the stuff that we have to fucking abide by, it sucks, because, and I think that's why the GOP and the right side of the house is at a huge disadvantage, because they're not willing to cross certain moral boundaries that the opposition is. And when we equate that to a battlefield scenario, what happens when one enemy is morally fucking bound to a certain degree and the other side can just fucking run amok and do whatever they want?
Jew up.
Yeah.
But you want to know what else I find funny is you and I don't know a single person that was there on Jan 6, that was there during BLM protest, or is currently there during the pro-Palestine protest.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because we have fucking jobs and families.
Right. Correct.
We have better shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
and a way of life to sustain,
Yeah.
aka make job or work, go to our job, do our job, pay our taxes, support our family, feed our family, nurture our family, and educate. And that's, I don't have time to protest. I don't have time to fucking throw a Molotov cocktail, nor do I care to do that.
Correct.
Right. And those of us, all our circle of friends that you and I surround ourselves by, are law abiding citizens that are very capable individuals, but we're not doing these things
Right.
because we're productive members of society. This is the far left and the far right. And those that are silent are those of us. And we don't need to take to X and Instagram and talk about all this. So, like, we're not keyboard warriors. So I don't know. It's gonna happen eventually. Like the bear is gonna get poked, and I don't know what that looks like. And I guess we're gonna find out. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep doing me.
Yeah, I there's nothing else to do but just keep walking forward. But just what I keep trying to tell people is like, just it's like the movie Rambo. Stop pushing, because if you push too hard, too far, you're going to create a chain of events that's going to create third and fourth order effects that are going to be catastrophic.
Yeah.
Because if you take a section of human beings that all we've known is war for the last 20 years and we were really, really fucking good at it, and we don't want to do that, and we just want to live a peaceful life, and you force us into a scenario where it's
our back up against the wall.
It's either go fucking full bore and put in 110% or go to jail for the rest of your life. I know what my choice is.
Yeah.
I'll die on a hot pile of brass before I fucking go spend fucking 1 minute in a jail cell.
Yeah.
For fucking trying to preserve the Constitution of the United States.
You know what my backup plan is?
Mexico and a surfboard.
Yeah. I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to take the equity. I'm going to take my family. I'm going to go south, and I'm going to find the sickest fucking beach town with the nicest of people. And I've lived in Mexico, right? So fucking
you've already lived there.
Don't come at me with this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Not to mention I've traveled the world. I fucking know it. And I'm going to live a peaceful fucking life.
Yeah.
And I'd rather do that than go to prison. And prison is the only other option, to be honest. If someone comes knocking on my door and fucking wants to play fuck games, like, it's going to get handled. But put my house in a trust, fucking get it sold, collect equity, and I can live for the rest of my life off of the rest of that shit. And I'm gone. And I'm just going to be an expat. I'm going to follow Leo Jenkins with his Canadian wife as an American Ranger, Army Ranger, with their daughter, and fucking just do that.
I mean, those of us that are in the know already know that, like, that's the most probable and potential route. Like, those of us,
for me,
we're already positioning ourselves, and I didn't do it on purpose. Like, I had no intention.
Yeah.
But, like, I've got Kate.
Yeah.
Like, we're fucking in love, and life's great, and so we're fucking probably gonna move forward with like getting married, and like that's gonna give me 3 passports.
Yeah.
So guess what?
You're gonna go to buy watches anymore.
Yeah.
I could sell all my shit, and I can fucking die an old man.
Shit breaks off. You can go to Mexico. I'm gonna go to Cairns.
Yeah.
I'll be in Cairns. Try not to get eaten by a saltwater crocodile while I'm like overlanding.
Yeah.
And drinking really great coffee.
Yeah. At least my food will be better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And it's way cheaper.
Well, on that note, man, I think we've been going at it for a hot minute. That was a good one, man.
It was a good one. It's the first one I'm mildly sober for.
Yeah. Oh, so, I know. You and I are usually like we're on a good one.
Yeah.
By the time we hit the record button.
That's a strong win.
Yeah, that is a good win.
I think my house is a problem. I think it's the upstairs in the office.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some like.
It's the man cave.
It is
kind of library aspect.
It's where men behave badly.
Yeah, it feels like kind of like a speakeasy.
It is a speakeasy. It is definitely a speakeasy.
Where like my wife Nikki can go to bed and we're not going to wake her.
No.
And we can just be us.
Yeah. Yes. We can smoke all the weed and play 2-Up until fucking 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. But yeah, no, dude, it's fucking solid. And fucking God bless the United States, and God bless fucking Australia.
Yeah.
I don't even believe in God, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm fucking down for what it stands for.
Yeah. 5 eyes, baby. The 5 eyes.
Yep.
Yeah. Good cunts, as they say.
Yeah.
Are good cunts.
We don't need shit cunts. We just need good cunts.
Yeah. No shit cunts, only good cunts. Which is why we have the UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand. And I think that's it. Who's that? Us. Yeah. Us, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canadians. Yeah. That's it. 5 eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could do without that Trudeau motherfucker running Canada, but for the most
we
part,
can do without all the governments,
Yeah.
but the people in and of themselves are incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, fuck governments, but people are fucking rad. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, cheers, Gabe, dude, and thanks for hosting.
Yeah, thanks for hosting, mate.
It's been a hell of a run, and yeah, dude, it's been. I wish I was still into vlogging because it would have been a hell of a vlog.
Oh, it would have been a great vlog.
Having us three and this incredible city to navigate.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've always got next year. We'll come back next year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna we'll do it. We'll do it big. Now that you and I both know what the go is, as they say here. What's
That's
the go,
true.
mate? We know what the go is. We're gonna come back and do it big next year.
Come back more dapper.
Yes.
No more medals.
Yeah.
But well, maybe I might get a domestic terrorism medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have we'll have a good we'll do it right next time. I completely lost track of time. I was gonna order my medals on Rack Builder and fucking send them to you like you recommended and have you fly over with them, and I completely fucking forgot about it until and then I thought you were coming out here a day or two later than you actually did, and so I was like, oh yeah, can you? And you're like, bro, I'm at the airport right now. I'm at LAX right now, and I'm like, oh well, fuck it.
Yeah, you called me at the bar when I'm editing photos.
Yeah. You're editing photos at the bar at LAX, and I'm like, hey, bro, can you if I send these to your house? You're like, bro, no.
Dude, you know what my favorite thing in the world to do is edit my photos at an airport bar. Because being as situationally aware as we all are, dude, a laptop's not hard to see.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's an 18-inch fucking TV screen on a
Right.
bar with somebody standing in front of it.
Yep.
But you get it from the sides, and it's guys rappelling out of helicopters or shooting guns or fast roping or whatever. They're like, the fuck?
Oh, you probably get
It's
all
like
kinds of
looking
great
at-
questions and
oh.
all kinds of great attention.
I've never had questions. Honestly, I think they're afraid of asking
Yep.
questions, but
You get some looks.
yeah, I definitely get some looks, that's for sure. But it's fun because it keeps people on their toes, right? And that's kind of my subtlety to letting people, especially in LAX, know, like, these are my friends.
Putting cunts on notice.
Yeah. So
without putting them on notice.
Exactly. I'm not loud boisterous about it.
How do you put cunts on the airport on notice without putting them on notice?
Yeah, just pull up a whole photo album of fucking SEALs fast roping out of helicopters with fucking guns.
I love it.
And it go
suppress guns and night vision.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
Well, should we fucking call it?
Let's wrap it, dude.
Well, speaking of your editing, you are the founder of Krupto Media.
Yeah, Krupto Strategic Media.
Plug it.
KRUPTO, strategic.com. And you can find me at actually you can't find me at N_BETTS because
You're shadow banned like a motherfucker.
I am shadow banned like a motherfucker. So look up Krupto on Instagram. You could probably find my company, and then through there, then you can find me. But if you are fortunate, or if I get unshadow banned by this time, then I'm sure you can go to Lone Element, and then you can probably find me there.
Yeah, I'll put all your tags in the description.
So yeah, it's probably the best way. But I've tried to share my Instagram to many of Aussies since I've been here, and I go to type in my handle, which is very easy, and 0 comes up.
Yeah, nothing.
And I'm like, damn, I'm not
like
good.
You type in the whole thing and nothing comes up.
N_BETTS, and it does not come up.
It does not come up.
Nope.
At all.
Nope. You got to go to somebody that has me tagged in something in order to find me. I am unfindable. And normally I'd be pissed. But I'm not, because I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like if anything, I get anxiety looking at social media now. And I don't follow the dumb shit that we just talked about, right? I mean, I strictly utilize social media to find my fucking host, Gabe, here in Australia, which, literally happened on Instagram, dropping into DMs. I found some of my best friends and biggest mentors via social media.
There's good things that you can use social media for, even now.
Other than talking shit without getting hit in the fucking mouth.
Yeah, even now, even still, you can use social media for like a great tool to actually do what it was designed to do, which is meet other cool people around the world, network and develop community with people around the world. It's still very much capable of that, but yeah, I think it depends on what you use.
And that just goes to prove the point, dude. Like my Instagram is, Nikki and I and adventures and spearfishing and ocean shit. And then, yeah, there's guys trickled in with guns in there, but there's no hate speech.
Yeah.
There's no fuck all. It's just Instagram doesn't like me.
Whatever, you're racist.
And
you're a white supremacist. You're not even white, but you're a white supremacist.
I know. I'm actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm quite a bit Native American.
People,
and, still doesn't work out.
Yeah, people accuse me of fucking being a racist and a white supremacist all the time, and I'm like, one of my best friends and the producer of the show is Chinese.
Yeah,
he speaks Mandarin and Cantonese. Is a great fucking phenomenal human being.
Yeah, and he's currently abroad.
Yeah, he is currently abroad. Him and I like to adventure. We like to globetrot, man.
Yeah, and that just goes to show how non-racist we are.
Correct.
If we were, we'd fucking move to Arkansas.
Yeah, I'd move to Arkansas.
And I'm not saying people from Arkansas are fucking racist, but I'm just saying we traveled.
We're just saying, like Dave Chappelle says, stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
Yeah, I want to live the Bourdain life, just saying suicide, but that's my goal. But thanks for having me on again, dude. I think I'm always stoked, and especially doing it abroad.
Yeah, well, we've got some projects to work on together over the summer, and
we do. And you're going to be a state neighbor.
Yeah, when Kate gets stateside and we get settled in, we will fucking hop the 5 hours over to San Diego and come adventure with you.
That fucking easy.
Nikki,
or a 40-minute flight.
Mm-hmm. You and Nikki and Ian and all the fucking homies.
Yeah, I got plenty of room.
We'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll get wet.
All right, mate.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Wherever you're at on the globe, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Lone Element Podcast. Thanks to the great people of Australia, and thanks to our host, who is still doing the job, but thanks to him. And look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Cheers, guns.